Yo, what up, YouTube? CC here today with another gameplay for you guys. And I apologize. I know everyone wants, some live comms, and we'll get into that. But I've got a stockpile of old games that I wanted to show you guys, and I didn't live com them because some of them were in Weekend League. I think like 99% of these games were Weekend League, and this is one of those games. And like I said, I really just want to provide you guys with games where something exciting happens, something good happens, something bad happens, something fun, something good to watch, right? Instead of just me blowing someone out or me getting my ass kicked, right? Something. So you see, we started out here horrible. We started out horrible, and I could not pass the ball this game. I did not play great at all. But it happens, right? As we give up a third and 8. Not ideal. So we get stopped, and now we're not getting the stop. Like, we need to get off the field here. But at the same point, as long as we don't give up 7, it puts us in an okay position. As you see, the Whamdy, pretty good. The Whamdy's pretty good. And, of course, I mess up my camera here. But, we're going for the sack, and then he just falls over. So, good for us. But that means that he's going for it on 4th and 17 here. And I don't mind the call at all. You're at midfield. You're not going to give up too bad of field position regardless. Then he scrambles and gets hit. And thankfully, we recovered that, because if he recovered it, that's a first down, and we're sort of screwed. But we get the ball, and my run stick here does not provide 7 points. It probably should have. Probably should have juked instead of spun. But, it's okay. It's okay. This was with Barry. Everyone knows how OP Barry is, right? As we see, like, look, I'm hitting receivers, and I am never catching the ball in traffic. I am never catching the ball in traffic. Like, nothing is going right for when I pass the ball. This man he's not on my routes. His 91 zone players are just all over everything I want to do. And this was a stupid pass. Stupid pass by me. Just chucked one up. I think I panicked at the time. But again, that's okay. We got whammed. This man, you're not whamming me. You're not whamming me. You can beat me somehow, but it's not going to be with wham. At all. At all. And I'm running the slightly more advanced whammed, which is going up today on MaddenTurf.com. It's similar enough to the free one I put out, right? But the more advanced one, it shows you a couple more wrinkles. And it's going to be going up in the Baltimore defense here. So again, this game is tied 0-0, and it's been a really ugly game. Neither of us have actually done anything, and just a horrible read. I had the out route open, the shallow cross was open, and I do that. Like, that's just bad. That's just bad. And here, for some reason, I didn't think he was going to keep whamming us, because we've been absolutely destroying wham. So my mistake in thinking that someone is going to keep trying to do something that hasn't worked at all. But then that's my fault for not setting up the proper defense for his plays. So he gets 3. All right, that's fine. You got 3. And I know a lot of times people will complain that someone is on aggressive line all game, etc., etc. I feel like this guy was one of those people, but I could never draw him offsides. I was actually going, getting false starts more than he was ever getting drawn offsides, and it's extremely aggravating to know that someone is on aggressive, because you see the way that they break off the ball. You see how a lot of times when you fake hike, someone jumps but they don't quite go offsides. They're on aggressive, but there's nothing you can do about it at that point. There's nothing you can do. You're just going to be dead in the water when you drop back to pass. But that's okay. All I'm thinking right now is just tie the game up, Chris. We've played a bad half. We need to tie this game up. Above all else, we just can't go into half losing, right? So it's 3-0. I'm thinking, we'll just kick the field goal. It's, you play smart. Play smart. I'm not trying to throw another pick at all. So we line up to kick the field goal, and this little... he blocks our kick. He blocks our kick. And he runs it back. All the way. To go up 10-0. and I'm mad. I was really, really mad here. The fact that we played so bad and we fought back and we're about to tie the game up, but then, ha ha ha, not so fast, my friend. We're getting 2 points back on that, you little shit. So somehow he blocks my kick, returns it for 6. I block his extra point, return it for 2. So instead of the game tied or down 10, we're now only down 7 and he gets ball. So still not ideal. We're down 7 points and he has ball in the second half. Like, we're going to have to, we have to come to play. Our offense has been really bad, so we need something here. And nice read into coverage. Of course, you don't have to pay for it. Paul Krause there playing cornerback. He decides he's just gonna bat it down. Nobody wants that ball. But then of course we get the sack. Big 4th and long. He doesn't go for it. He ends up punting the ball to us. We had a pretty good return. I know I cut some of that out. My bad. But again, down 7. We have the ball. It's still really early in the second half. We got that a very quick, easy stop. And 4th and 7. Like, oh no, are we gonna be clutch? We are clutch. We get the possession catch of doom on him where the player turns around. There's no stopping that. When you get that animation, it's over. And then old man Runstick gets on in, tie game, 9-9. And I was pretty nervous kicking that extra point because, I mean, he blocked our kick earlier. Why wouldn't I be nervous? It's not so. All right, we just got to lock up, man. We just got to lock up. Right, I know this he's a quality opponent. He's a quality opponent. But because he's a quality opponent, he makes a read like that. And, I mean, we're maybe a little thankful to get him there. But again, he goes back to some of these runs which haven't been working, and it confuses me. But he was dedicated, and he was going to run his offense the way he wanted to run it all game long, and he wasn't going to let my style sort of dictate what he was doing. Which is respectable. Except I thought I should have picked that. But, is what it is. But we get the big sack here. Very cool. Who doesn't love a good sack? So 2nd and 15. The game's winding down, right? So at this point in the game, when you're tied or someone has the opportunity to essentially win the game with a field goal, you have to play defense a little differently. So we get the coverage sack, and he had people open. But then right there, I mean, and he completes that. But he still punts because if he doesn't get that, he knows the game's over. So it's our ball. Tie game. 2 minutes left. All we have to do is be clutch. And not fumble. And please, Barry, do not fumble. Please do not fumble. Like, we got popped 2 straight plays there, and I'm nervous. But we gotta fight. I'm not too worried about the clock. As you see, like, I'm really taking the clock down just in case. Like, if he happens to start to stop us and we have to punt, I don't want him having a lot of time. So instead, we just throw a hot one. We just throw a little hot one. So now we're not quite in field goal range, even though I've got Butker. I need to get a little bit closer. This is still a very far field goal. You see, he's sort of taking his timeouts, but then we get a dive. We move on in. We get into field goal range. And I just went to kick the field goal here because I figured he was going to try and, like, he'd called a timeout, right? He called the timeout before we picked anything. So I knew, A, he can't call a timeout on me at this point. B, that means he's not going to ice me at all because he just called a random timeout. So I figured, why not just kick the ball here? I know it leaves a couple seconds on the clock, but I think it was the smartest move. That way we avoid the whole icing game, all that stuff. So whatever he was doing, he was sort of locked into that play. There was nothing he could have done. So you see, we do the little fluff kick. There's 3 seconds. This kick is not being returned pretty much for a touchdown ever. So the clock runs out. Shout out to our man. This game was extremely difficult. I did not play great. But when you play bad, you need to fight. And we fought, and we did all we could to win the game. And that's all you can really ask for. When you don't bring your A game and you still get the win, you're doing just fine. So thank you all for watching. I'm CC, and